Hi, I'm Stuart McClellan. Well, do that again, shall we? Wait. Nope, come back down. I'll let you know. Come back. Hi, I'm Stuart McClellan. I'm a wood turner. I live on the west coast of Scotland. This is Freddie. I want to show you some wood turning today. I'll show you how to do this pear. This is Freddie. In this video today I'd like to show you how we get from this to this. I'll talk about wood selection, I'll talk about the problems that you get with different timbers, and I'll show you the process that I use in getting to a finished product. So here's a selection of some of the fruit that I've got part turned. Here's an apple. This is finished right through to about here. This bit now still has to be done. The pears, well, this is where the pear was held to start with. This is where the piece of wood was held to start with. This has now been finished right through to here. And now we need to put it back into a chuck or a holding system of some kind so that we can now access this part here and get this finished. Okay, this is what I mean by getting a reasonable quantity together before you then go to the second process. It's a lot easier for me, because I'm selling it, just to run through one process as many times as possible. It's much more efficient to do it that way. Now that I've got it to this stage, I'll then start the second process and basically do all of these to a finish. Okay, I've got a bit of a selection of wood here, and let's just talk you through some of it. This is a piece of yew branch. This is a piece of yew. It's got some beautiful figure through it there. Lovely wood to turn. There's a bigger piece of yew. That was obviously just from a bigger branch. Again, I've tried to keep a little bit of the sapwood in there, discoloured sapwood. I think this makes a nice feature. Okay, here's a piece of oak. Oak is lovely to turn, lovely pattern through it. That's quite a dark piece, really nice. This is actually a piece of larch fence post, or a fence stub, round fence stub. You can actually see the green tinge to it. It's been tannalised. That's larch. Okay, and that is actually from a larger 4-inch square fence post, and you can just see a little bit of the green going through there, which is that tannalising that's on. This is a piece of maple branch. It's got quite a nasty split just here, some little holes here, and there's the crack that I was talking about. This is a piece of laburnum branch, and you can see here the dense heartwood and the sapwood here, and then when you turn it around you can actually see that at some point, probably about here, it's then split into two, so you've got two branches coming off here. This is obviously a weak point just here. It would be good for you guys to see how we can deal with those problems. This is, I'm not quite sure what this is. This could be just an old bit of sycamore that's been lying around. There's some blue staining going through it, and sycamore quite often does that with water staining. There's some bark inclusion here. It certainly would make a great piece of fruit. Oh. Okay, I think Freddie wants to do some wood turning. So let's go do some wood turning. Come on. This lathe I use mostly, well obviously for spindle work, but mostly I use this for putting spigots on. This is an HDB 200XL Hegner. Good machine, probably had it for about 20 years. Mostly I've got this set up to do this type of between centres work, and I've got a VB36 just sitting behind us now, which we'll get to shortly. This is set to about 700, and then I'll just increase that so as fast as I can. When there's bark on something, I like to, rather than just run it right through like this, I like to take it off from one end down to the sapwood So if there's any loose bark on here that I haven't been able to get off, as I'm taking this off like so, it's leaving a smaller and smaller piece of bark, whereas if I start to do this where the high and low points are, it will leave a long piece of bark which can quite easily fly out and if you're not careful hit you. So that's why I'm doing this way. Okay, you can hear that flapping. I think this is going to end up as a pear, because that's quite loose. I'll just take this back a bit more, but I'll use the gouge this time. Quite a bit of worm on this. Well, this is an interesting one to start with. Because I'm going to be using this as the largest part of the fruit, I'm going to put the chucking point over here. So very carefully here, just okay. Okay. There's quite a bit of woodworm on here. There probably won't be as much once we've turned this back down a bit, but let's just see. Quite a bit of dust coming off that really dry bit of wood, so I'll just put the dust extractor on. We'll just sneak up on this, see what it looks like once we've taken a little bit more off. Okay, a lot of that worm's been lost. Just a little little bit of it there. So I'll just take that tooling mark out. And we'll sand that. So I'll turn the speed down. Get to about 500. I'm starting this off with P80. That was 80. I'm just going to scroll straight to 150 on this now. $240. Cellulose sanding sealer, which is thinned down about 50-50. that's the end of that taken off with the bandsaw. What I'll do now is I'll take this over to the bench and I'll show you how we're going to get to finishing this end. Here's our pear. What we need to do now is hold this somehow and be able to access the end here and turn this to a finish. So this is how I do it. This is a screw chuck that I made many years ago. I've got two chucking systems on here. One is from a small chuck, the other one is from a big chuck. So I can use this on either of them. There's some super glue run into there as well so that this screw doesn't move. So what the idea is that we put that into the middle there and screw that down. Now, just to make sure that we don't get marks with the wood, here's a piece of, there's 3 pieces here of kitchen towel. Just fold it in like so. And what I'll do is I'll fold that again and again, and just, there's the centre, just bang that through there. And that's enough of a cushion for this to sit on top of. So what I've got here is, I think, a 4mm drill. This is a 6mm screw. If I make the hole too big, there's not going to be enough grip with that, with it being a soft wood. If it's a harder wood, you'd want the hole size to be closer, or at least the drill size to be closer to the screw. And if it's not bang on in the centre, you know, it's not really going to make much difference. So just screw that on there. Tighten that up. That's not going to go anywhere. Let's fix this onto the lathe and we'll turn that bit to a finish. Okay, so just sharpen the chisel and let's turn this on and see how true it is. So obviously there's a wobble on it, you can see. Just turn that through. Now just carefully what we're going to do is blend this cut in. See the bit we're trying to get to here, just stop that, you'll see. It's already taken it down there. I'm just going to take this bit here off now, and the way you see this bit of eccentricity here, it doesn't matter. Once we put the sander on there, you'll lose that completely, and it'll just add a little bit of natural irregular shape to it. It won't make any difference at all. So that's that gone. But I'll just take it back a little bit more. Stop it about here. Tool rest up. You just want to sneak up on it here. You don't want to do any big drastic cuts on it, otherwise there's a chance that'll come flying out the chuck. Speed down a bit. And then as you come up here, you can see where you're sanding to there. So there, as you take it to the end, ease off on the pressure. Okay, and then just gradually a little bit more pressure down to the bottom. Now what we'll do now is we'll just have a look at where there's any scores across the grain, and we'll just finish it off like that. Just spend time at this stage. Cellular sand and seal it again. Show up any sandpaper scoring. We'll go to 400 here. As a rule of thumb, the softer the wood, the lower the grit you need to go to. Quite often 240 would be fine on this. If that was something like ebony, you'd be taking that to about 1200. A selection of small stocks that I've already made here. I'm just going to use this one. That's going to go in there with a bit of glue. It's going to look like so. Okay, and then just turn that, squeeze that in, wipe off any excess. Now the bottom of it, as you remember, has already got the hole that we had this we put the screw chuck into. A little bit more glue in there. You don't have to skimp on it because it's a bigger hole than I would normally have made to put these little cloves in. I've got two little cloves here. I've just taken the little button heads off them. I'm just going to put one in there, put the other one in at the side of it, so there's two in there. A little bit of cloth. And push that down. Okay, I'll take some still photographs of this and you can you get a better look of it. Everybody does bowls, so I will be doing a video on how I do some bowls. This is just a selection of some of the ones I've got that are being oiled at the moment. This is actually, this piece here was from a lump of sycamore that had been kicking around for about 15 years and I'd been using it as a seat, and it must have been dry by the time I used it. Anyway, I've turned these to a finish. These were all cored out. Baby bowl, mummy's bowl, and daddy's bowl. Yeah. Whoa. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for watching. Glad Freddie didn't get in the way, cause a health and safety issue. Hopefully you'll join me on some of the other videos I'm going to do. See you then. Come on.